Hi, everyone. For my salient point, I decided to talk about imposter syndrome because I feel like that's kind of hitting me hard this semester, and I'm feeling overwhelmed, sometimes inadequate, like in clinical, and just my confidence level's a little bit down. And so I kind of wanted to look at some reasons why I felt this way and, why I thought that I'm dealing with this, and I'm sure I'm not the only one. One of the things is, and most of you would already know this, but my background is in business. All my job experience, for the most part, is in business. So this is very different than, what I'm used to and the job I'm looking at getting when I get done. And also just because this is last semester, and like we know how fast these semesters go, and that it's just right around the corner where we're going to be out of school, and we keep having more and more expected out of us. And then also I worked my first 12-hour shift, and I was worried about, I've never worked a 12-hour shift in my life, so I was worried about having the stamina to do it and to be on point, and, just not to be absolutely exhausted. And also I worried about, I didn't want to look foolish in front of my preceptor, and I knew I would make some mistakes. It's a learning process, so I knew that there would be things that I would do that I felt foolish about later. And I worry because I've always been good in school. I'm good at taking tests. Many of you are much better, but I'm doing fine. And I worry about that translating to the clinical field and working with patients. That's using the information, and it's not just passing a test and then, letting the information go. So I wanted to look at, while I was taking all these things and I made them a negative, I wanted to kind of break them apart after I reflected after clinical. And so I started thinking about, with a background in business, and I really have some great work experience, and it kind of made me think about, well, maybe I've gotten some valuable tools. I'm great at managing time. I can use critical thinking. I worked in the accounting field, and because my husband was in the service, I changed jobs every 3 or 4 years. So I was always picking up and learning a new job and working in a different field of accounting. So, and I worked on many projects with other employees and people from all different walks of life and different backgrounds. And so, I thought, well, that, is a positive. And then I thought about it being last semester, and honestly, that's exciting. We have worked so hard, and it's been exhausting, and to make it here, and many didn't make it to last semester, and here we are. So I just feel like I just want to be proud of that. And the 12-hour shift, I started thinking about that, and I thought, well, since when do I worry about, not making it through something? I pushed through, and I was a little limpy on the way home, but I did fine. I was great the next day, and I was excited by the time I got home, and that's a cool thing. And as far as looking foolish to my preceptor, I don't know if everybody got as lucky, but I think my preceptor is great. She's go, 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 but I feel like I learned more in a 12-hour shift than I had in multiple shifts before. And she explains things to me if I don't know, or if I kind of freeze, and I can see a difference because we're repeating a lot of the same things over and over again. And she's great at explaining. She's had multiple students. And then just the making it through nursing school, it's just the first step. And I just think as we gain experience, we're going to get better and better, and that there's no one that's expecting perfection out of any of us right away. So we just know that it's a process. So I did a little research on, because really that imposter syndrome is just negative talk that you're doing to yourself. And so when we had this Eckhart Tolle assigned to us for his being in the present, I did some looking up on him on YouTube right at the start of the semester because I'd heard his name before, but I wasn't really sure who he was. And so I again went back and watched a couple of YouTube videos. One was How to Calm the Voice Inside, and another was Free from Negative Thinking. And for one thing, I love to hear the German accent. I lived in Germany 3 years, and that's my favorite accent. So I like that he does that little laugh kind of under his breath when he's a lot of times being facetious, and I think that that's funny. Anyway, he talked about your negative thoughts. Like he said, if you see a flower and you look at the flower and you go, oh, that's just a really pretty flower, there's only so much you can talk about how pretty the flower is. But if you get an argument with somebody, that takes a lot of thinking. You know, you're going through your mind, I wish I would have said this, I can't believe they did that, all of that stuff. And so it's very easy to let most of your thoughts comprise negativity, and you have to learn to stop yourself. And that negative thinking can be addictive, and that also he talked about that there's such a correlation between negative thinking and what becomes your reality. And so you really have to learn to get a hold of that and back up and maybe come from more of a positive perspective. And so I've just decided that with this last semester, I'm going to enjoy the experience and keep reminding myself that this is a process and things will get better and better. And I know they will. I've started over so many times with positions. This is different. It's a challenge, but I know I'll get there. And then just to bring it around, I thought about with patients and everything that we had learned about therapeutic communication, and certainly it was drilled in real hard with our mental health class. I kept thinking that when I was learning this, I kept thinking about it so that you didn't make a bad situation worse, so that you kept, psychiatric patients calmer. And I think I focused more on that. And then my preceptor was talking about with the COVID patients, how she has seen where they get very anxious and then they deteriorate really fast. They tank. And that what a difference it makes, excuse me, to keep thinking positive. And so I thought more about the therapeutic communication, and that it's also the positive stuff too, and making sure that we do that and being encouraging and everything. It should be much more that than preventing negative, and making sure that we don't say the wrong thing, that we should actually be working very hard to say the right things and to make situations better, and maybe to work with our patients about not having so much negative thinking and trying to teach them to also think more positive. So that's I kind of brought it around to patients and working on myself better, because even at my age, I have so much to learn, and things that, oh gosh, I'm going to learn and wish I wish I would have known these things 30 years ago, or changed my way of thinking. And that's just part of getting older, is you have some regrets, and then others you go, it's all I knew. When I knew better, I'll do better. So when I know better, I'll do better. So that's kind of where I'm at. Thanks for listening to me, and I hope I'm one of the live ones so that you guys can't rewatch this video, because I don't like making videos. Talk to you later. Bye.